Thank you for joining. So this is we are in a very difficult times, especially after what has happened in Pahalgam, and new reports and a series of reports rather have emerged, which suggest that Hamas operatives were in Pakistan and actually involved in probably training them, giving them, and there's a lot of very similarity between what happened on October 7 and April 22. So my first question to you would be: Is Hamas the new Pak terror ally?
Well, I don't know whether they are allies, but it is a fact that there has been Hamas traffic to Pakistan. It is a fact that certain Hamas terrorists who were released from Israeli jails as a part of the hostage release deal, some of them landed up in Pakistan. Why Pakistan? I don't understand. They should have gone back to Gaza or West Bank. They haven't. Or they could have gone to any of the other host countries of Hamas, but they came to Pakistan. And it is also a fact that some of them actually traveled up to POK. Now, when all this happens in a country like Pakistan, where the military and the intelligence agencies are constantly monitoring movement, whether, I mean, whoever is coming in, whoever is leaving the country. So I can't believe that the Pakistani establishment, especially the ISI and the army, were not aware of the arrival of Hamas operatives. That they arrived over there, they went up to POK, that they met with LET operatives, and all this happened, and not once but multiple times.
Do you see this as a shift, especially at a time when Hamas is actually struggling now after Israeli series of Israeli attacks, and then they also eliminated a lot of their you can say the targets, the base camps in Beirut and the region. So do you think that now they are like moving closer towards India? The focus is shifting basically. That's my question.
Almost the entire Hamas leadership has been neutralized by Israel. Their hideouts have been bombed. Their camps, I mean, places where they would hide, places where they would stay, those have been identified and bombed. The tunnel system has been bombed. So the Hamas infrastructure or Hamas terror infrastructure has been destroyed to a large extent, but the Hamas ideology survives. And you have to keep in mind that to survive this time round, they need a new patron. So they are looking at Pakistan as a possible patron and a possible supplier of arms, a possible supplier of money. So this is how it's going to work to my understanding. Now, the other thing is that Hamas, you and I may think that Hamas has failed in its larger game plan, but the Hamas believes that they have got a winning story, a winning narrative, that this is a movement to free oppressed people from an occupying force, aka Israel. Now, for Pakistan, this is a story they have been trying to sell for a long time. That terrorism in Kashmir and terrorism in India, whether it is the Mumbai terror attacks, whether it is Pulwama, whether it is Pathankot, and now whether it is uh, in Kashmir, the whole purpose is that this is not about terrorism, but this is about uh, people demanding freedom, what they call azadi. And here, this is where the Hamas uh, uh, worldview dovetails with that of Pakistan. And they feel again that the LET could learn a few tricks from Hamas. So, especially if you see the October attack by Hamas in Israel, it was the tactics which they had used, the innovations which they had used. They had used paragliders to sort of get into Israel. They had targeted the homes and people to attack. They had ensured that every bit of violence was recorded. They used a gathering, a music festival gathering, to create maximum impact of their terror strike. So this is again, if you look at it over here, the attack was on a large group of holiday makers. They were in a festive mood. It was almost like a picnic out there in Pahalgam, and there was no security. There were people had sort of dropped all caution, and that is when the attack happens. Again, if you look at it, a second point of comparison, the targeted killings. In the October attack, the Hamas terrorists went from house to house, identifying the occupants and then killing them in cold blood. Here too, they identify the victims. They ask them whether they are Hindus, whether they can recite the Kalima, and then they kill them in cold blood. And most of them have been shot in the head. And a third point of comparison, and this is, of course, as per witness accounts, uh, in uh, uh, in the Hamas attack on Israel in October 2 years ago, the terrorists were wearing body cams. They were actually recording every bit of their crime, of their enormous crime. And the whole purpose was to record it and then go and play it back to people in Palestine, to use it for publicity purposes, to sort of, the multiplying factor of terror would set in. Now, they do the same thing over here. I mean, the eyewitness reports say that the terrorists were wearing body cams. Now, why were they wearing body cams? Previously, no Pakistani terrorist operating in Kashmir or any indigenous or locally groomed terrorist was found to be wearing a body cam. So this is a change in tactics. They want that footage. And I'm pretty sure if they were actually wearing body cams and they have videographed their inhuman brutality, they are going to recycle the footage for multiple effect, and to sort of spread panic and to create. After all, the purpose of a terrorist act is to terrorize people, and that terrorization happens when you see moving visuals, and so this is the third factor. And the fourth factor is that there is credible information that ever since the new regime, the unelected regime in Dhaka, sucking up to Pakistan, there has been traffic of ISI and questionable individuals in the Pakistani army to Bangladesh. What have they gone there for? What was the purpose of their visit? And whether something is cooking on that front. Because if you again look at it, the Murshidabad riots, these were totally different from communal violence in recent times. There is now evidence, hard evidence, photographic, videographic evidence that the rioters actually went from house to house, sort of painting a cross on them, black cross on them, to identify the houses which were to be looted, burned, and attacked when the rioting happened. But again, in Murshidabad, it was the Hindus who were targeted, the Hindu areas which were targeted, the Hindu households which were targeted, and the Hindu temples which were targeted. So, this kind of targeted attacks, targeted killings, and in the east, and now we have it in the north, would suggest a larger evil plan unfolding. And the resemblance is the resemblance between what is happening, both what happened in Murshidabad, what happened in Pahalgam, and what happened in Israel in October. All that sort of tallies. There is a reflection of the October attacks in the attacks over here. And there have been reports that perhaps some individuals came in from the eastern border and were involved with the Murshidabad riots, Murshidabad attacks. Now, who were they? What I mean, whether that is actually true, though, that all those aspects are being investigated, and I'm pretty sure the details will come out sooner than later.
So do you see now this is a new axis of evil, and that's what is surrounding India? What kind of security challenge is this for India now?
Well, it is. I mean, India has always faced a security challenge, whether in the north, whether in the west, and till 1971-72 in the east. Now, the east since then was comparatively quiet, and we had a different security protocol for the east. But ever since the fall of the Sheikh Hasina government, uh, the situation in Bangladesh has changed. The ground reality has changed. The surge in fanaticism, the surge in Islamism, the surge in jihadism, the change attitude of the government of Bangladesh, the targeted attacks on Hindus, the targeted attacks on temples, the targeted attacks on Hindu households. All this has been happening, and every day there is some story or the other. So this again adds to India's long list of security challenges. But I'm sure the government is on the top of it, and our agencies are on the top of it. And uh, once we come to grips with what happened in Pahalgam and we find out more about it, the necessary corrective steps will be taken, and the loopholes, if any, they will be plugged.